Oh my God, it just disappeared for over a year, and I don't even think anybody's heard the full story until now. Yeah. So I was in the middle of an international move just a little over a year ago, moving my entire family, including my 2-year-old, to my dream locale permanently. So we sold all of our stuff in Canada and we moved across the world. We were in Thailand for a few months in the interim, which I thought would be a vacation. It wasn't with a 2-year-old. It was an unnecessary prolonging of a very difficult move. But I had decided there that moving to Australia, getting a new house, I'm just setting up life here, as well as finishing a book at the same time, was just not doable all at once. So I paused this season, which is the How to Be Yourself, Not Your Parents season, because the book How to Be Yourself, Not Your Parents wasn't complete. And I intended for it to be complete during the season, but that just was not happening with an international move and a 2-year-old and everything else underway. So I paused this season thinking it would take me a few months to set up shop in Australia, finish the book, put the finishing touches on it, get it out, and restart the season. Well, let me tell you, we got a beautiful house. I'm in my new studio, which I'm going to record next season in presently. And everything was perfect and wonderful and going swimmingly. Wow. And I made the resolution for my new year and decided this was going to be the best year of my life. January 2nd, I was notified that my father passed away. It was pretty sudden and unexpected. I knew he was pretty ill, but nobody thought it was as serious as it ended up being. I am his only close family member. He has another 2 children, which he doesn't have any relationship with. And so everything kind of fell on my lap to arrange from Australia because we couldn't leave. We couldn't go back to Canada. We just moved. Our visas here required us to stay. All of this stuff. So that in itself was obviously extraordinarily difficult. But once the initial organization and management of having someone pass away was handled, and it came to my father's real property, the 2 estranged children tried to take my father's property from me. Anyways, without going into a ton of detail in that, I do explain a lot of the challenges I went through in the book because it's now complete. But without going into too much about that, I got a first-hand take on what kind of person I would have turned out to be if I hadn't have taken these steps, if I hadn't have decided to be myself, not the person that my upbringing shaped me to be. These steps help me be in this dramatically different reality, right? Like, not only do I have, a loving family and a really wonderful lifestyle, like this is my dream lifestyle where we are right now. And, financial freedom and all of these like really lovely things. I also was really close with my father. Like I was capable of having the kind of relationships and whatnot that, our upbringing wouldn't have facilitated. And I don't know them. I don't know exactly how they were raised. But I can see from the way that they responded to the situation that they're just playing out the same nasty kind of patterns that ended up with my father being an alcoholic. He had been sober. He was in his 34th year of sobriety when he died. Because he decided to change, And I think the fact that he didn't have relationships with these other children showed that he didn't change all the way, but maybe he needed this book. So I'm so excited that this book is out now. And not only because these are the steps that I took to have this dramatically different life from my biological siblings, my biological half siblings, but also having a dramatically different life from anyone in my lineage. And it's not even about it being different. It's about it being more me. It's about it being something that is fulfilling to me. It's about me living my purpose. And I was only able to do that in an easeful, natural way because of the personal powers, because of these 8 steps that I explain in this season. And when I got this firsthand, this front row seat to how awful a life must be when you don't take the reins, especially if you had an upbringing that was harmful, like any kind of harmful, whether it's really harmful, like these siblings, or just a little bit unsupportive. It's just so disappointing, and it ends up in people who not only feel awful, but they do harm, right? So I actually ended up completely rewriting the book, and that's a huge reason why it's taking me so long to get back, is because I was almost at the very end doing the final edits to get this book out, and having this front row seat to the outcomes of the kinds of harm that upbringing can do, and having these epiphanies. The universe, when I said that I was going to have the best year of my life, the universe responded and said, here is everything that you need to get over. Here is every way that you need to grow. Here is every way that you need to become stronger. Here's everything that you need to heal. Here is every obstacle that you need to release in order to do that. And that's what this year has been. And it's not even over. And I cannot tell you how many incredible things are happening in my life. It's hard to accept, honestly. And that's another topic altogether. It's hard to accept how beautiful and wonderful my life is becoming as a direct result for how I responded to all of this hardship. And these personal powers are why the healing, growing, strengthening process is how and why. So I rewrote this book because I just had those final grounding, pivotal moments of understanding and insight when everything just became full circle. Like now, like this, like decades of research and experimentation, it's complete. And it's complete because of the awful experiences that I went through and I overcame. So I can't wait for you to see this book. I can't wait for you to read it. People are calling it the last personal development book you'll ever need. And I believe it. And I can't wait to share the rest of this season with you and the rest of these steps, the rest of these personal powers, because this is truly how I changed so much from coming from the furthest away from happiness I can imagine to being in a place where I feel free and like I can do whatever I want, surrounded by people who I love. Like this kind of freedom, I want that for you. I want that for everybody. This is how. So get the book and, subscribe and get those podcast episodes to finish off the season. And I can't wait to see you in the next season and to continue this growth journey with you. because this is turning out to be one of the best years of my life, regardless of, all of the bad stuff that's happened. And I'm really happy to be back.